We are live.
Oh, hello.
Josh is here, but it's only his voice for 2 seconds.
Just me.
While I get, well, I mean me as well, but while I get your video situated here. There it is. We're gonna do this in real time because apparently
there you go, baby.
I have to do this every time. Yeah, welcome to the Josh cast.
I can see myself up there. Oh, you can see everything. You can see my messy game room.
Oh no! Don't worry.
It's all out there on Front Street.
It's out on Front Street.
The whole thing.
The whole
not
thing.
Backstreet.
Nope, not the Backstreet Boys. He's a Front Street boy, and his name is.
I don't want it that way.
There we are. It's almost like nothing happened. Here we are. Here we are. If you could scoot to your left just a tad, sir.
No.
All right. Never mind then. We're done. We're canceling the show.
It's over.
Here we are tonight, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, holy shit. I just watched the Nintendo Direct.
Okay.
Oh my god. What? Are we cool to just jump right into that?
Go for it.
I'm gonna shit myself because I'm about to play Project Justice for the top 25 Dreamcast games, and then they brought back Project Justice. I was so excited. I was like, oh my god. I didn't even
total accidental synergy.
Yeah. I like, well, that and Power Stone as well. Like, and that's my, for spoilers for later on in the list, that's my number 2, I think. 3 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think. No, I think 3. I think it's number 3. So I literally, I didn't even register it at first. I was like, I saw the gameplay footage of it, and like I had just been testing it out to make sure that it would run for the stream, and I was like, oh yeah, and there's Project Justice. What the fuck? It's Project Justice! And then they were like, oh, and Power Stone, and I was like, what? I was like, those are number 5 and number 3 on my top 10 Dreamcast games of all time, and they're bringing them back for the Switch. And I didn't catch if they're doing online multiplayer or anything, but if they are, that's gonna. I will never leave the house again.
Just streaming all day long?
Just all day. Or just playing by myself. Anyway, God, that was something. That was my energy out. I think my neighbors probably think I'm being murdered or murdering someone.
They're probably like, he had it coming.
He had it coming. He had it coming. But yeah,
I've seen that musical once, and it was only the movie version.
Oh, that's funny. I've never seen the musical, but I've listened to the soundtrack. I had some coworkers who were really into musicals, and so they would play it all the time. And they did that with Hamilton as well, and I started to hate Hamilton because I would hear it so much, and then I hadn't watched it until I drummed up the courage to finally be like, all right, so that I can finally understand what the big deal is. I finally watched it one day, and it was good.
I was expecting like it sucked or it was mind bending. It was good.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it as a solid 1 thumb up.
But yeah, so with the Nintendo Direct, so you enjoyed it, I take it then.
Yeah, I mean, everything else, nothing else mattered. Literally, like, they were showing other games, and I was like, go back to Project Justice, go back to Power Stone. I mean, I'm sure people are going to be excited for CVS, Capcom versus SNK. I'm not really, into that series, but that was cool. And I remember you texting me about, you're going to like this one called, I already forgot the name of it. I've just been calling it Sci-Fi Rush.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like Star. Oh, hold on, I texted it to you.
Yeah,
I forget the name of it too. It's Star Overdrive.
Star Overdrive. Yeah.
When I saw that the dude was riding like a hoverboard and there was like stylized action, I'm like,
Yep.
This feels up Andrew's alley.
Yeah, for sure. I was like, oh, this looks rad, and I was like, I literally called it. So they were like, they showed the piano thing or the guitar, it looked like, and I was like, what is this? Hi-Fi Rush? And they're like, it's a new sci-fi game, and I was like, Sci-Fi Rush? And I genuinely thought it was going to be a sequel, and it was going to like take place, way in future in space and stuff, but it definitely looked like Hi-Fi Rush, definitely looked like a little bit of Solar Ash. I think that's the one that I was thinking of, which with the movement mechanics and stuff. Between that and the Project Justice / I know it's another whole collection of like 8 games, but really I only like care about Project Justice and Power Stone. I'm sure people are going nuts because Power Stone 2 is usually the favorite, but I'm kind of a purist. I really like the first one. I prefer the first one.
As people may have heard on our Dreamcast stream a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And the episode I'm actually currently editing right now for when it comes out. So
nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna have the full unedited, full uncut, full uncensored, full nudity, full frontal version on
full frontal Dreamcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna have that up the same day, so look out for that. September 8th, Sunday.
Yes, sir. 7 p.m. baby.
On the dot Eastern.
On the DOT.
7 p.m. local time. Wherever you are, it's gonna upload at 7 p.m. No. Wouldn't that be wild?
Were there any other highlights for you of the Direct? Otherwise, I have like 1 or 2.
Not a single thing, no.
I want to shout out Neva.
Okay, yes,
Neva from
for sure.
The developers of Grease, Nomada Studio. They're a Spanish developer.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the visuals of Grease?
I've played it. I never beat it, but it's stunning. That I will say, that was one of the first things they showed, and I completely forgot about it. But I was excited for that. It looked like if Grease or Gree, I don't know how you pronounce it. I always thought it was Gree because that's you do. It's a hard S.
It's a hard S.
Okay, because in French, I just now realized from listening to them that they're Spanish, but I always thought it was French because it's gray in French, but you don't pronounce the S. Anyway,
Grease in Spanish, you do pronounce
the S. Grease.
Well, the whole point of the game is you're like it's kind of on the nose, but it's going through the stages of grief.
Yeah.
So I love that game. I need to replay it. I really, really like that game, though.
Yeah, I want to play it too. Or I want to beat it. I think I have it. I played it once and I was like, that's awesome. I can't wait to play it again. And I think something else came up and I just never did. But yeah, this new one, Neva, looks like Princess Mononoke in the Greece world.
It's like what if people from Spain decided to make their own take on Miyazaki?
Yeah, you know? For sure. I was like, that feels like Princess Mononoke. That feels like Spirited Away. They're not exactly subtle with it, but it looks really cool.
That looked really interesting to me just because I loved their previous game. I loved Grease a bunch. I also really liked the Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster, 2D HD. Even though I don't think they can call it that because that's a Square Enix patent probably.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that because I've never played those games. I've heard nothing but good things, and I might try to play a totally legal version of it at some point of the first game to do an episode on to kind of like coincide. I was debating on streaming that tonight after we're done here, but I was like, nah, not feeling that tonight. Not feeling an RPG at the moment, or like a turn-based RPG. What I will be playing is Diablo 2.
Nice.
And I'll talk about that more and some of the stuff I've experienced this week a little bit later. But
nice.
Excuse me. I liked, but yeah. So Suikoden 1 and 2. I actually had notes for everything, and I'm blanking on like half the stuff. The Star Overdrive or whatever it is looked really cool. Like I'm a sucker for open world games like that now.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny. Like when you and I first met, I hated open world games because almost all of them were just Grand Theft Auto clones.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto, I think genuinely they are not good at mission structure. I don't think Grand Theft Auto does good with mission structure in the slightest. They are great sandboxes. They're fun to dick around, but I think their mission structure in the older games.
I was gonna say the newer ones do that great.
In like, you know, when they were real, like Grand Theft Auto 4 was okay. I played a lot of it. Like I got into it kind of, but the pacing of GTA games have always been so weird to me. But, you know, I can't say that I completely wouldn't like them because I fucking adore Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, that is probably in my top 5 of games.
Wow.
Just ever.
That's so funny that you say that because I actually kind of got... I haven't beaten Red Dead Redemption 2 because I got a little bit fatigued by the, like, Rockstar mission structure, as you're saying. Like, I liked 4 a lot. I feel like they did it a slightly better way, but I felt like 5 did pretty good, but once I started playing Red Dead Redemption, I was like, so literally they're all just, hey, we gotta go to this place. All right. And then on the way to the place, everyone's talking. And then when you get to the place, whatever you're there to do goes wrong. A shootout unfolds, and then you have to shoot your way out and then get back to the safe place. And I was just like, why are they all like this?
I could care less. I love all though. So it's funny. I did an episode on Red Dead Redemption back in like 2021, I want to say.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. And I played through 1, and I kind of did so. What did I do it before or after 2? I think I played through it before I played through 2. I don't remember now. I don't remember when I don't remember if I played 2 first or 1 first. In any case, 1 was okay. Like 1 was like there was lots of fun moments to it, but I don't know what it was. Like the finale. Did you finish Red Dead 1?
Yeah, I was gonna say I loved the ending. And did you play after the credits?
I did.
Okay.
I finished.
There's a lot after the game ends.
Oh yeah.
Like a whole nother game.
Well, my main issue with Red Dead 1 and in an essence 2 is after the big event happens, the moments leading up to like the climactic finale, both with so you know how like before everything goes down because I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't played it. Even though I know the game's over a decade old, I actually think it's good enough to not spoil.
Oh, it's such a good I don't want to say twist,
funny.
but I love the ending.
See, like the ending from like a story perspective, I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, it's poetic, it's great. When I played it, it had no emotional impact on me.
Really? It was the opposite for me.
Because I finished it, I did it, and I'm like, I guess I didn't quite understand that it was supposed to happen. So
Gotcha.
I actually reloaded it and tried to do it again.
Oh no.
and realized, oh, this is just how it's supposed to be. Okay. And so it completely took away. And I'm not blaming the game entirely for it. I think it's more the presentation, I think, wasn't as dramatic as it could have been.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think the actual story beat of it is brilliant. I don't think it's a bad plot point on how to end the game in the slightest. It's a really great way to like point, I was going to say pinpoint. That's not what's the word for I can't think of the expression.
Like putting a pin in the story.
No, not putting a pin in the story, because that means you're going to come back to it later. But like it's like a great finale. I can't think of the phrase.
Oh, put a button on it.
Yeah, put a button. It's a great way to put a button on the story, and it's perfect. It's just the implementation of it. It just didn't wow me as much.
I can see that. Did you play it when it came out or somewhat recently?
Some more recently.
Okay.
I think that's what I think even in the episode I talk about it like that. I'm like, I think if I would have played it back when it was new, it would have blown me away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I try to critique a game, I'm very conscious of trying to make sure that like I have that mentality of like, would this have blown me away back in the time it came out? Perfect example. You ever play the Stanley Parable?
No, but I always hear good things.
It underwhelmed me because a bunch of other games since then have done what the Stanley Parable did. The whole game,
that's frustrating.
Without spoiling, there's not really much of a story to it. The whole game pretty much is just you play through, like you are an office worker named Stanley, and you are trying to get out of the office that you work in, and this narrator, this omniscient narrator, keeps making fun of you for every little thing that you do and kind of commenting on you.
It's just like real life.
So like if you die, then you start back at the beginning, and then the narrator's like, Stanley didn't understand why he started back at the, stuff like that. Like it's commenting on, like if the narrator asks you to do something and you go against it, it'll be like, I don't know why he keeps not listening to me or something like that. He starts commenting on what you're doing. And back in like 2011, when that first came out, that would have been cutting edge.
Oh, it's older than I thought.
I think so. I'm going to double check on that. But playing it now, it was just annoying. I was like, it felt like, I'm gonna double check. It just felt like there was a 2013, excuse me, 2013 is when it first came out. I believe like the original like demo version of it though came out earlier than that, but 2013 is when it first came out. That's what it was. And I just remember I played it for the show because a guest wanted to talk about it, and I played it, and I'm just like, I've seen other games do this already, like kind of making a meta commentary on the nature of playing a game. How like, are you controlling the game? Is the game controlling you?
Like
You know,
Super
developer-
Hot.
Like what? Sorry.
Like Super Hot. Have you played that?
No, I've heard that's really good.
Okay. Yeah, or like Unicorn.
Gameplay loop looks really cool.
Oh, totally. In VR, especially if you can play that in VR,
I believe it.
it'll make you feel like you're in the Matrix. But yeah, things like that, or like what's the Unicorn Island or whatever, or the creepy card game where it's like, there's
I've
a
never
twist.
played Unicorn Island.
Okay, I forget what it's called. It's probably not called that. But yeah, God, what's that? It's a creepy card game. It's somewhat recent, in the last maybe 5 years or so. But it's like there's twists and stuff, and suddenly the game changes, and you're playing like a totally different game. It's very meta. It's a one-word game. I can't remember what it's called, but I do want to play it.
Baba Is You.
Yeah, it's like one of those Baba Is You, where it's
that
like
looks really cool too.
That
That's like
game-
a fun puzzle.
I don't think that like I'm an unintelligent person. When I see that game, I'm like, I'm too dumb for this. My brain may as well be a rock, because it gets into like, you're basically doing theoretical physics by the end of it. Like, it's nuts. I've seen speed runs of it, and I'm like, I'm lost. I'm lost. It's insane.
Yeah. So I lost, but yeah. So like, back to Red Dead.
Right.
I brought all that up because it was like, that would have blown me away when it first came out in like 2010. I think is when the first Red Dead came out.
Mm-hmm.
What Red Dead 2, the reason why that blew me away more is because I think the character arc of Arthur Morgan is a lot more interesting than John Marsden.
John Marston.
And don't get me wrong, like I think John Marsden is an interesting character, but like Arthur Morgan is so Roger Clark is the voice actor and motion capture artist who portrays Arthur Morgan. Just, I cannot get the scene out of my head. Like, if you ever get to it, do you know the plot twist of like what's going on with Arthur, like midway through the game, a little more than midway through the game?
I don't think so. I don't think I've gotten there yet. I just got to basically the New Orleans town.
Okay, I mean, but did you get to the camp right outside of that?
Possibly.
There's a handful. In the New Orleans style town, there is something that Arthur finds out about, like that. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay, I might be right about to hit that point.
But there's a scene at a train station with a nun, and I can't get through that scene without getting emotional because the performance is so beautiful.
Oh, they're incredible in that game.
Yeah, and like also the attention to detail always gets me, but especially in Red Dead 2, that just the amount of like, to me, that was when I finally understood the Rockstar appeal of like the attention to detail they offer.
Quadruple A level budgets and stuff.
It is really like the definition of a quadruple. As fucking stupid as it is when Ubisoft says it, like Rockstar at least puts their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, and Ubisoft has been putting out the same game for the last 15 years.
Exactly.
But they're still calling it quadruple A. Yeah, it was somebody's job in Red Dead Redemption 2 to animate the horse's testicles shrinking when it's cold out. Like, what? The detail is unparalleled. And I do like the performances are incredible, but maybe because I haven't played through it all the way, I still actually find John Marston a more interesting character than Arthur. I'm having trouble really liking and connecting with Arthur.
Arthur is definitely like that in the first half of the game. I think what makes him shine is the second half, because it's a character growth. Otherwise, like John Marsden, like he has more at stake in the beginning. You know, like he's doing it to get his wife and kid back from the U.S. government. So already, like the anti-government people, like side of me is like, fuck yeah, fuck
yeah.
but like and it was the Pinkerton agency versus the Outlaws, and like it had like the setup, excuse me, for Red Dead 1 is significantly more compelling than Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
Red Dead 2's story, I think I liked more. I don't want to say it's definitively better because I think Red Dead 1's is still really good, but goddamn, man, like I like, especially like the relationship between Arthur and Dutch as the game goes on is really interesting, and I don't want to say any more than that because if I give any other descriptors, like you might be able to see where part of it is going already, where you're at in the game, but I don't want to say. I want to leave it up, leave it in the air, so that way you can kind of experience it for yourself.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's definitely on my list. I want to get back into that. It's so funny that you say the Pinkertons because I didn't know that they were real.
Oh yeah,
like they existed back in that time, and they still exist. Did you hear about the this was maybe a couple years ago now, but like I think it was Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, they sent Pinkerton agents to people's house to collect cards that were shipped erroneously by Wizards of the Coast to people who ordered them.
And then just imagine getting swatted by like a private military agency because someone sent you a wrong package. Like, what the fuck? It's absurd.
I mean, the Pinkertons were not good people, and it's really, there's a reason why if you ever play BioShock Infinite, one of the characteristics of the main character Booker DeWitt is that he's a former Pinkerton, and a lot of that game is him kind of atoning for the sins of the shit he did as a Pinkerton.
Okay, another one. I've never touched a BioShock game. I've played demos of all three, but I've never actually played one. And that is like, that hurts me because I know how good they are.
Dude, I don't know if you'll still like, I think BioShock 1 and Infinite still hold up really well. I kind of like my thing with Red Dead. I don't know if like the plot twist in those games is going to really like wow you like they did. Though actually BioShock Infinite is so convoluted, it might still wow you because back when it first came out, people were like, there was so many video essays just trying to figure out what the fuck they were trying to say.
Oh, weird.
In that finale.
It gets wonky.
It's very wonky.
Okay.
It's very, very, very wonky. You might like it because it's very sci-fi.
Okay. Yeah, I just love the world. I love just zipping around on the grappling hook thing and just
Skyhook is what they call it.
Skyhook, yeah.
Yeah.
Skyhook, 85 Lakers.
Megaran.
Speaking of,
I still have to. Actually, my wife did say I could go to that. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check again. But we talked about it, and I think she said it's cool.
Nice.
So.
I realized after I said that, I was like, wait, maybe we shouldn't talk about this on air.
Nah, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, in that case, that'll be something that we will experience and can talk about. Where I live, which I almost just said out loud. Where I live,
in New York.
Which is in New York. There's gonna be a concert coming to town, both of which I have seen before and have loved them live. Cybertronic Spree and Megaran, which Josh here, I always gesture to you on the wrong side. Josh over here, I'm like pushing the boundaries of the box to point to you. Introduced me to back in the day. And Cybertronic Spree, if you don't know, is they dress like Transformers. And they say like actually like big boxy like the old 80s Transformers, and they play a bunch of like Transformers music and 80s and 90s like theme songs and stuff. Like they'll play Mortal Kombat and Pokemon and Ghostbusters and obviously lots of what is it? The You Got the Touch from the Stan Bush. Thank you. Yeah.
You got the power.
Yes, so good. But I saw them live at MagFest 2021, I want to say, and it was one of the best shows I've ever been to. Like. Technically and musically, yeah, it's fine, it's passable, but the way that they know how to put on a show is incredible. Like they literally have one of the members of the band just dressed as Soundwave, and he doesn't play or do anything, or he doesn't play any instrument or perform. He just jumps around and runs around the stage and like blows up balloons and beach balls and stuff and throws them out in the audience, and just like it's just kind of like their hype man, getting people like just stoked and jumping around. And obviously Megaran is my favorite of like the nerdcore rappers. So that'll be cool. So
Do you like kind of like synthwave style music?
yeah,
Like kind of like
enough.
that 80s vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I really like. It's a bit of a heavier version of it, but there's a group that I like called what is it? Mega Drive. Or an artist. I don't know if they're a group, but this producer who does it sounds like the Hotline Miami. It sounds like Hotline Miami.
Okay.
I would definitely recommend. I think it's 19XAD, 198XAD. I think is the name of the album. It's incredible.
So I'm gonna play for you something real quick, and don't worry, it's not gonna get copyright.
Okay.
I made sure it's not a copyright issue or whatever. This is by an artist named Malmen, Malmen,
Okay.
and it's kind of like what if. Actually, I don't know. Discord doesn't always allow this, so we'll see if this works.
Okay.
Let me know if you can hear this.
All right.
Can you hear anything?
No.
Of course not.
I can hear that
Okay.
something's trying to come through when you talk, but I think it's just because your mic's picking it up.
Well, it's freaking Discord has like a noise gate or some shit on it. Is there a way to like? Is there a way that I can? Oh, is there a way that I can? Hold on. If I go to my personal settings, let me see if I can figure something out. Really, this will take like 2 seconds. Okay, so I can do something to automatically input the. All right, let's see if this works. Anything now?
Nah.
Some.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Good.
Nah,
Yeah,
I couldn't hear
trying
anything.
to see- I was trying to see.
Oh. Whoa.
Can you hear me? Did I get lower?
You sound like a robot.
How's that?
Is the music playing?
No, it's not playing yet. Oh, it is still playing. How about now?
Okay. That was weird. It was like,
is that better?
yeah, this is. I couldn't really hear it. I don't know how it came through on the stream, but for me, it sounded like. It sounded like you were auto-tuned a little bit. Like when you would start talking, it would be you were like, "How about now?" Because it was like playing the music under your voice.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Hold on. Now I'm going to try this. I just turned off noise suppression.
Okay. There we go.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. This is called Malman.
Nice. I like that. Ah, I want to play Sonic.
Doesn't make you feel really nostalgic.
Yeah.
Here comes the beat.
Oh, this is dope.
I thought you would like this.
Welcome to Chill Synth Beats on the Experience Point.
It's very happy.
Yeah.
But like nostalgic happy. Is it only coming out? Oh no, it should be clean. Never mind.
Oh, I love this.
Right? I won't play the whole thing. We'll go for a little bit more.
I'm getting a little Anamanaguchi from it. Nice. Very cool.
There's another group that I would like to play. I just don't know if they allow like streaming stuff, you know?
Better to err on the side of caution. Sorry, I was just like snuck a candy because I didn't think I was going to be talking soon.
My bad, my bad.
No, it's
I
fine.
can. What I'm gonna try to see if they have something on, because I actually tried reaching out to them. The Midnight. The group is called the Midnight. Oh wait, here we go. Hold on. something they posted to the Twitch community. Our entire catalog of music is safe to use in your streams. There
Yo.
we go. All right, and this was on their official Instagram page back 4 years ago, but I'm going to take it as gospel.
Yeah.
We cannot control the decisions Twitch makes or what will happen in the future. However, you will not be issued any strikes, takedowns, etc. by any company associated with us or our music. Happy streaming. So, do you mind if I play them real quick?
Yeah, I would err on the side of caution, though. Maybe not too long, just in case something has changed and Twitch is like, wait a second. But
So, this song is called Gloria, and it actually has vocals.
okay.
And this is like straight out of the 80s.
Oh yeah, I love
wait
stuff
for
like
it.
this. Oh. It's kind of, it's not coming through very.
Oh, really?
It's coming through kind of choppy.
Is it any better now?
No. Oh, there we go. It's cutting out.
That's weird. So the other song worked fine.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just my how it's coming to me, but let me see how it is.
Any better now?
Nah, it's choppy on the stream too.
All right. I won't torture the audience with a choppy version of it, but
It sounded cool, though.
I'll send it to you so that way you could like check it out at another time. But
Yeah.
I don't know how
like
we
that.
got on this topic of synthwave, but I fucking love synthwave.
Right. Yeah, me too. I've been seeing a lot of TikToks that are like old like 80s high-rise penthouses with music like that, or just like smooth jazz and stuff, and I'm like, oh hell yeah. It makes me nostalgic for a time that I wasn't even alive for. I mean, I was alive for 1 year of the 80s, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah. I call that misplaced nostalgia. Is
Ooh.
what I call that.
Nostalgia.
And I can't even take credit for it. I heard that first from Retronauts, the podcast, and they've talked about how you will feel nostalgic for an era you never personally experienced.
Yeah.
Or nostalgic for something. It doesn't even have to be an era. The 80s is very much that for me too. Like, we're both born in 89, so like
Yeah.
we are technically 80s babies, but really, like we're 90s kids at heart for
But
sure.
yeah, by the time we were old enough to actually form memories,
Yeah.
it was the 90s, so
Unrelated, before I go, I've been talking a whole bunch about my own shit. Is there any stuff that you experienced this week besides the Nintendo Direct?
yeah, that was right. I know we just like I just came in fiery. I was just hot off the heels of that, and I'm so stoked, and I'm even more excited to play Project Justice after this. So I would have done that on Monday because there is a story mode to it, or yesterday. But I was feeling like death yesterday, so I experienced the feeling of death yesterday, and I'm putting off my stream of that until after this. So, I would say I don't think we talked about it last week, but this is technically 2 weeks old now. I got, I guess, lucky enough to get a alpha code for. Are you familiar with 2XKO, or
No.
as it used to be called, Project L?
Nah.
Okay.
Was Project L the Smash mod?
No, that's Project M.
Okay, then no.
Which is very funny now that I think about it. No, so are you familiar with League of Legends or Arcane at all?
Unfortunately,
Okay, did you play League?
I played a little bit of it. I never had to deal with the toxic side of it.
Yeah, it's so funny that as soon as you start talking about that, people are like, "Yeah, it's super toxic."
Yeah, I mean, everyone talks about how toxic it is. I never had to deal with it. I also didn't play all that much, so
Yeah,
it didn't really affect me too much. But I obviously know it by its reputation.
yeah.
So,
Unfortunately, its terrible, piss poor reputation precedes it.
I did hear the TV show that is based off of League of Legends. Arcane, I forget what it is.
Arcane.
On Netflix. I heard that was fantastic.
It's one of the best animated TV shows I've ever seen.
Mhm.
It's
I need to watch it.
It's unbelievably good, and the second season is coming out in November, so I would highly recommend it. That's all that I know about this franchise from. I've never played League. I think the characters look kind of cool, but it's not my type of game. I really don't like the MOBA style.
No,
But
you're not an RTS fan, and that's pretty much like
right,
that's like it's like an action RTS almost.
yeah. So when I saw gameplay of it, I was like, oh, maybe. Or when I had friends who were into it, and I was like, oh, you should play League, and I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh, the characters look cool, but what they can do is cool. I just don't like the way that they play, like that the RTS kind of style. And then they announced this thing called Project L, which now has been rebranded. That was a working title. Now it's just called 2XKO, and it's a fighting game based on the universe and the characters from League and Arcane. So they did what's called an alpha lab. So it's still very early. It's like not even beta. It's obviously pre-beta. They had 5 or 6 characters available, and got to test it out. And Polisa is really into Arcane as well, so it was very cool to play a fighting game where she's like, I actually recognize the characters, and the gameplay is really cool. It's so smooth, but it feels great. It's a 2-on-2, which is why it's called 2XKO, and it was made by people who really know fighting games. Like they're actually they're brothers. I think it's Tim and Tom Cannon, and they basically designed this thing called I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's called rollback netcode, which most fighting games so most fighting games use a delay-based netcode, which is why if you're not playing on hardwired, usually they suck, unless you have rollback netcode. So they know fighting games intimately, and that's very evident. It's a easy to pick up. I can already tell it's going to be an easy to pick up game, but it's one of those that you'll spend a lifetime mastering it because there's always going to be something new to do. But it's very flashy, very cool, very pretty. I had a blast playing it. We streamed it for like 4 hours during the period that the alpha was going on. And I'm very, very excited for it. I know nothing about, like, literally everyone I know that's into Arcane is like, or is into League of Legends. They're just like, don't play it. Just watch Arcane. So, and luckily you don't need to know anything about League to enjoy Arcane. So
that's what I've been told too. That's why I kind of want to watch it. Cause like League of Legends, they keep adding new characters to like. There's so many like heroes to it. I can't imagine there's a story connecting all of them. And if there is, holy fuck, I can't even imagine how complicated that must be.
It's got to be, yeah. I would say so. Like the first, I think 3 episodes are kind of their own arc. It's almost like a prologue arc that sets up the rest of it. I would definitely say check those out. It's a work of art. I've never seen such a pretty animated show. Like it's the CG animation, but there's like a brushed effect to it. There's like it doesn't look like it's trying too hard to be. It has an art style, which a lot of the, like modern, cartoons and 3D animated shows don't really have. They all kind of like look the same. But if you've seen, did you see the newest Ninja Turtles movie, the Mutant Mayhem?
No, I saw that it was like, I don't know, was it puppets or like claymation or something?
It was just CGI, but it's I think designed to look like it's claymation or stop motion. Okay. It's just everything's got this like kind of gritty texture to it, and there's like sketchy lines around everything, and they're just not afraid to play with like that kind of ugly skater aesthetic. But yeah, it's kind of like that. Which I also highly recommend, except if you want to watch it, you'll have to get freaking Paramount Plus, which is like, who has that one?
That sounds cool though. I maybe, like I said, I still need to try a fighting game. So if you think that might be one that I could actually get into, maybe I'll give it a shot.
Maybe, but it's not going to be out for a long time. I'm still trying to decide on what I think the best one would be for you. I have to get back to you on that. But as far as that's pretty much it as far as things that I have experienced. The only other one is I started showing Polisa she's playing through it, but for the first time, the PS4 excellent Blue Point remaster of Shadow of the Colossus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I think as of the last time we talked, and we did our episode of Shadow of the Colossus, you hadn't played the remake, right?
No, I still haven't played the remake.
Oh, it's incredible. Like Blue Point, he made the Demon Souls one most recently, where it's like it's the same game, but they just put a really pretty like cover on top of it. They did the same thing with this, and it's unbelievably pretty. Like that first game, the original, was already really like incredible visually, especially for the PS2.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this even more is like, oh god, it's stunning. And there's like filters that you can put over the camera, so it's like you can play at night if you want, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
So I'm doing a playthrough now because I got excited because she's playing it for the first time, and I was like, God, I love this game. So I was like, let me do because I had already beaten it, and then I was like, let me do a run on hard in the night mode, so it's harder to see things, and also there's a mirrored mode, so it like flips the whole world. So where you think things are, and you get comfortable like doing. I played that game like 5 times. You get kind of comfortable with it. It feels fresh again and new, and almost feels like a weird, like the Upside Down from Stranger Things or something like that. But classic game, love it.
See, I played it once, and I don't think I could play it again. It's not because it's bad. I liked it. We talked about it.
Yeah.
It's too sad for me. It is such a sad game.
It totally is. Wait. Just in case, I don't know if police is in the stream or not, but
I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay.
And not just because of the story, which I won't spoil. But the world is so melancholy, because it's so empty.
That's what I love about it.
So sad. I know. I like the artistic direction of it, but it really it bums me out. I don't think I can.
It's lonely. It's very lonely.
And there's a point to that, and I don't have an issue with it. I think how sometimes people think that only something sad can be emotionally profound and shit like that.
Yeah.
Talk about the human condition. Sometimes that gets annoying to me. This game doesn't do that. It's sad, but it's not pretentious about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You just would prefer it to be lighter and happier.
No, I wouldn't prefer it to be. I can't personally I want it to stay the way it is. It should not change just because it's too heavy for me. I think I had that experience. I'm happy I had that experience. I don't know if I'm going to want to experience it again anytime soon.
That's fair. Yeah, and that's where we kind of were talking about this last week a little bit on when people say what's the best game of all time, or what's the best movie, or there's a difference of what you can recognize as incredibly well made piece of media and something that just doesn't resonate with you. And I always use my most extreme example is the Joker movie, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, which I mentioned last week, where I was I walked out of that movie oh my god, that movie was incredible. I will never watch it again. I hated it, but it was awesome.
Each of the boss fights in that game are so emotionally draining, and I think that's an important part of the story.
Definitely.
Too. It's a really beautiful game, and I would not change a damn thing about it. And I think it's great. I have to be in the right headspace. Sometimes I'm I'll replay it, and then I never do. And I just right now I'm not in a good headspace with all the personal stuff going on behind the scenes, and I don't think I could really dive into something like that.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
I think even regardless of the mood of it, that's one of those games that I always just find myself really feeling disconnected from the real world and really finding myself immersed in, which even though it is sad, it's kind of like Nier and Nier Automata, or Nier Replicant, Nier Automata, those games will make you bawl your friggin' eyes out, but they're so immersive and you care so much that it's you're not thinking about your life, and even when things are going bad, every time it rains, every time it's a slightly rainy day, not a downpour, but just a light rain, I always want to listen to the soundtrack of Shadow of the Colossus, and then I do, and then I always want to play it. I think one time
a cozy game for you.
Kind of, yeah, even though there's a weird there's a weird relaxation to it, even though it's you're slaying mountain-sized monsters. There's just a weird I guess cozy is the right word. It's kind of the same way how I feel about thunderstorms. Like a lot of people I know, thunderstorms are just masses of chaos and they're terrifying, and lightning and thunder and stuff is like, especially Polisa, she like doesn't like them, but she likes that I like them. And I find them so calming. Like even in like a torrential downpour and lightning and thunder crashing outside, I'm like, this is so nice. And I don't know what it is. There's just something about it that it's the same energy when I play that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. For my own experiences this week, besides obviously the Nintendo Direct, lots of Diablo 2, which I'll be continuing tonight.
Right.
Been playing a ton of Diablo 2. My family and I went to the beach this weekend
That's
with
right.
my parents. It was a really good time. It was
Nice.
a really wonderful, nice time. And we took my parents because we were near Atlantic City, New Jersey, and we went to see Lucy the Elephant. Have you ever heard of Lucy the Elephant?
I have not. Is that a real elephant?
No, it's not real.
Oh, I was gonna say, is that okay? Is she okay?
It is a giant man-made wooden elephant, but like they have like, I'm talking like this thing is like the size of like a 3-story building.
Whoa.
Right? It's huge, and you can go inside of it. They have a stairwell going up the foot of Lucy.
What?
And you go inside, and they have a little museum kind of like in the belly of Lucy. And then, because it's supposed to look like an elephant that like an Indian like royalty would would ride, and so it's got a big, I forget what the proper term for it is, the thing that you would sit in on the top of it, that sits on the elephant's back on top,
like a palanquin,
something like that. And then the straps that go around the side, you see them, but that's where the stairwell is inside to get up to the top of it.
Oh, that's cool. Wow, this thing is huge.
Oh, it's huge.
She a big bitch.
Gigantic. And it's kind of cool because it was built in late 1800s. Actually, someone from Philadelphia was the one who helped preserve, like, they bought it and then brought it over to Jersey, and it sat there for years as like kind of like it was a speakeasy during Prohibition. It, like they would the lights in Lucy's eyes, depending on the color, would let people know if it was safe to come to the speakeasy.
Whoa.
Yeah, like
that's
really
awesome.
cool, like, right?
I love that real life lore drop.
Totally worth going at least once. We had already been before, and it's like you go on the tour once, you've seen it a bunch of times. It's just a tourist trap, but but there's at least some cool history behind it.
Yeah,
and like,
and that's on. Is that on the beach or like?
It's not on the beach, but it's like you can literally walk maybe 50 feet to get to the beach from where Lucy's.
Oh wow, that's cool.
It's not far at all. It's really cool. It was really cool. So you could walk all the way up there. There was one time too, like the people who owned it, they would they would rent, this is in like the 20s or whatever, they would rent it out for like parties and stuff like that. And one time they rented it out for someone's vacation home over the summer, and they literally had like, you could see it, there's like the tiniest bathtub, and the only reason it was custom made because they needed it to fit up the steps of Lucy to get everything inside there.
That's so funny.
It's wild. It's really crazy to see. It was a cool time. Like I always I liked going to see it the first time.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, if next time you're near Atlantic City in New Jersey, go check it out. It's pretty cool.
Huh. I like the beach, but I think I prefer the boardwalk than all the sand.
I don't really care for either. I'm more of I'd rather go to the mountains and play in the woods and waterfalls and creeks. That's my like kind of like childhood nostalgia. The beach is fun and all, but like there's no whimsy to the beach. There could be fairies in the forest,
I feel like there's a whimsy to the beach, but I get like a wanderlust when I get to the beach. I want to sail on the open sea, and I want to like just open skies and sea, and that's probably also
you could do that on the ocean. You can't do that on the beach. You're just standing on the beach.
I know, but being at the beach makes me like really enjoy the ocean.
Makes you want to be a pirate.
It does. So another thing that Polisa is playing right now is Wind Waker for the first time. And every freaking time that a new day starts and that music comes in when you're sailing, that I'm like, I need to be on the ocean stat. I need to be on the ocean right now.
I think Wind Waker is low-key one of the best Zelda games that people don't give credit for being one of the best Zelda games.
Yeah, I think people have come around over time, but it's definitely
popular. It's popular, but I actually think like for what Wind Waker sets out to do, it fucking nails its aesthetic.
Yeah,
it is so well crafted. I love that game so much.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, played Diablo 2 a lot while at the beach because I brought my laptop and everything.
Nice.
That's why I was thinking about it. And the other thing I started doing, and I don't know if I'll have a chance tonight, and I'm already kind of failing at it. I have made the determination I need to get back into reading books. I have not read books in quite some time. I made a determination I need to read at least 2 chapters a night. Well, because of this, I was doing yard work after I got home from work today. I got home from work, had dinner, went out to do yard work, came in to put my kid to bed, and then here I am. So I didn't have a chance to read today, but I'm going to try to read tomorrow because, spoiler alert, I have jury duty. So
no,
yeah. So I have to go in. I already checked, and they said, and like the site said, oh, you still need to come in. But I checked like within the first half hour after they said I was able to. So I'm gonna check again just to make sure tonight, because by now it should be updated if I absolutely have to or not. But assuming most likely I'm still gonna have to, I'll bring my book tomorrow, and while I'm waiting, I'll just bring a book and read while I'm waiting for God knows how long to get called in.
So you prefer physical than to audio?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
I'm the opposite. I can't. When I read a physical book, my eyes just drift and I fall asleep. I can almost exclusively only do audiobooks.
See, I don't like audiobooks because then I feel like someone is like putting a picture in my head as opposed to me creating the picture myself.
Really?
And I like that atmosphere a little bit more.
Because of do certain tones of voices make you see things differently?
No, I mean, yes, technically, because if a character is envisioned by the performer in a different way than I envision them, then yeah.
Huh.
Cause
what kind of that's like a reverse synesthesia.
Synesthesia is when you experience one sense and it triggers another sense. Like you can see color and suddenly you taste like grapes or something.
Yeah.
Like you see the color red and you're like, oh, that I taste a strawberry. It might not even be strawberry. It could be anything. It could be a banana. It might not make any sense to the color of the fruit, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Or you can hear something and all of a sudden you're like, that sounds like purple. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You have like a weird, like your brain mixes up sensory inputs. For me, it's not more of a sensory input. It's more of like, I don't have anything against audiobooks, mind you, but if I'm reading a book for the first time, I'd much rather read it myself, especially because audiobooks are so long, and I don't have time for that. And if I do, I'd rather just read them. If I'm making time to read, I'd rather just read it myself. And the times I do have that I could, which would be at work, I'd much rather listen to podcasts because those are things that my friends create, or they're things that like for example, I've been I mentioned last week, I've been listening to that Nerd Poker podcast, the D&D podcast. I can't experience that in a book form, in an audiobook.
Yeah, that's true.
So audiobooks, I totally get why people like them. I have no issue against them at all. I think it's a totally valid way to read a book. But I just personally prefer physical books. It's my thing.
Yeah, that's definitely. I noticed that I'm in the minority in that, and I wonder if it's just has to do with the way that I digest media. I just love going for a walk. I'll put on an audiobook and then I'll play it at like 1.5 times speed or 1.75 speed because I can listen faster than I can physically read. So then I'm like digesting, and it's easier to do. Like, or if I'm working on something and it's something that I don't have to listen to any sound or really think about too much, I can throw on an audiobook. Actually, somewhat interesting segue. I have
didn't
something.
even tell you what I was reading.
Oh, sorry. It wouldn't have been into something entirely different. It would have been related, but it would have been like a bubble of time. So sorry. Please continue. Continue. What are you reading? I don't care what it is.
I'm reading. It's by an author named Ken Liu. Ken spelled the way you'd expect, and then Liu is spelled Liu.
Okay.
And he wrote a series called The Dandelion Dynasty.
Ooh.
It's a fantasy series, but instead of the high fantasy that we're accustomed to with like almost European style, orcs and elves and all that other
Very
stuff,
Western.
it's got a very Eastern feel to it, like
Nice.
like a very I think specifically because he puts it in his in his thanks section at the beginning, thank you to so and so or in honor of so and so. I think he wrote it in on at least this book. He put as a thank you to his grandmother because she was the one that told they would listen to radio programs of Chinese history, but I guess dramatized maybe. I'm not quite sure.
That's cool.
So yeah, he has won multiple Hugo and Nebula awards, and I first heard about him because he did a short story called The Paper Menagerie, and
that sounds familiar.
It's a sad fucking story.
Oh,
it's let me see if can I find it's a story. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but a story about Jack, a first-generation American son of a white American father and a Chinese immigrant mail-order bride mother.
Whoa.
And as a child, Jack is enchanted by his mother's magical ability to make origami paper animals come to life.
That's cool.
That's all I'm going to say. I read that little bit from the plot synopsis on Wikipedia. That's all I'm going to say. And I really like the story. It's very sad.
Aww.
Just so you know, but it is when I first heard it on the LeVar Burton Reads podcast.
Oh, I love him.
Have you listened to his podcast?
No.
It is. He literally just ended it. It finished its run this year, but you can still listen to all the episodes. They're still up, and you can listen to them for free. It's wonderful. He reads short fiction to you, I used to, and that's digestible for me. And I was saying, I don't. It's funny because I feel so contradictory. I'm I don't listen to audiobooks, but I listen to LeVar Burton read a story.
Yeah, that's so funny.
It's a little it's not a little. It's very contradictory. I think mainly it's just that with full-on books, I don't think I'd want to commit to a 30-hour read or something like that. You know what I mean? Or
yeah,
how long they are.
It depends on the book. I guess the stuff I listen to is pretty short, maybe 8 to 10 hours, maybe 15.
I mean, maybe it's less than that. I have no idea. I was just throwing out a number, but even so, even an 8 to 10 hour one, I'd rather listen to 4 or 5 episodes, well, more than that, 6 to 10 episodes of my friends' shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But with LeVar Burton Reads, the episodes are 40 minutes to an hour, so it's perfect for digestible podcast size. But I really like that podcast, and it's been a minute since I've listened to them. I'm trying to actually re-listen to the entire show because I listened to the first season and a half, and then I stopped and listened to things on and off. So I actually reset my whole playlist, and I've been steadily working through it little bits at a time. But yeah, so he read The Paper Menagerie on the podcast, and I really, really, really liked it. And he mentioned how Ken Liu wrote his own high fantasy novel series, and some people have kind of compared the Dandelion Dynasty series to Asian Game of Thrones, basically.
Oh, that's cool.
So I don't that's one of the things that was said in one of the little snippets on the back of the book. And I actually meant to bring the physical book up in front of me so I could show it to you. It's downstairs, and I forgot to bring it up. But it's got a cool I'll send you on Discord a picture of it. I don't know if there's an easy way for you to put it up on like stream, or if I can like somehow do it. But the cover of it's really cool. Let me see if I can find a picture of it.
I'd have to like add another source
Yeah, don't worry about it then.
into OBS to
Either
show
that
it.
or like I share my screen real quick, but I don't know what that would do to. I have no idea what that would do to.
I think you could, as long as it was. It'll still be in the same window because it's through Discord. It should be okay, but you may just have to position it a certain way.
Okay, let me see what would happen. Let's see what.
We'll
let's see
figure it
what
out on
would
the fly.
Yeah, share my screen, and it will be this one. How does that look?
I see nothing. I only see you still.
Hold on. Okay, so it looks like it's only okay. So it won't show me. All right, or it won't show what I'm the screen that I'm sharing.
Yeah.
Good to unless I like to do that. No, I think you would have to select the source different. It's probably
If you have your phone,
probably-
you can like maybe hold your phone up to the camera. It won't be the best quality, but
Let me stop streaming because it's gonna make my like everything look stupid. Hold on. Yeah, I can do that. Dandelion Dynasty.
that sounds cool. You're talking about Chinese mythology. Makes me wanna. Reminds me that Black Myth Wukong is out, and I really want to play that.
All right, I have no idea how this is gonna look. Oh yeah, hold on. I can't. I was waiting for my. There we go. Yeah. So you can kind of see,
Oh,
like it's a
Grace
helmet.
of Kings.
The Grace of Kings. You can see like a helmet with a
Oh, the dandelion.
coming
Yeah, that's
out
cool.
through it, right? Yeah, I like the cover a lot. So I've only read the first 2 chapters. I'm only like 20 some odd pages into it, like 28 pages into it. So I got a long ways to go. It's a thick boy.
Dang, you thick.
He thick.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what I've been experiencing so far this week is finally getting back into reading, which I've already kind of failing because I didn't set aside time to read today. But like I said, with jury duty tomorrow, I probably will then. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been up to.
Nice. I have one more thing, but it's not super short. But you tell me if you're cool with that. I can also save it because it's something that I want to experience in the future that I've somewhat recently learned about.
Let's talk about it next week.
Okay.
So because it is past 9 already.
Yeah, I know
and
you got to stream, and I also got to stream as well.
Yeah. So
This game that just got brought back from the clutches of death thanks to Nintendo and Capcom.
perfect timing too.
Such perfect timing. I'm super stoked to play it. But I will let you get to Diablo, and I will get to some Project Justice.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you as always for the Talk Tuesday. Always a good time.
Yeah, thank you. I love doing these. They're so much fun.
John.
Jane Shell Shooter. Shuta. Shakuichi.
All right, man. Have a good rest of your stream and enjoy your game. What game is it again? Sorry.
I am playing Project Justice. So have you ever heard of Rival Schools?
No.
Okay, it's the sequel to that. So it's like it's a Capcom fighting game. It was only on well, not only, but it was an arcade game. It's a 3-on-3 fighting game, but you're all like kids in a school. So there's like you have your usual like plucky, shonen protagonist, but there's like a baseball player guy who like he'll like hit you with a baseball bat. There's like a soccer guy. There's a volleyball girl. Like every like school trope that you would see in an anime is represented as a fighting game character.
All right. Well, enjoy.
Sakura-chan!
Enjoy. And I will see you for the next Talk Tuesday.
Alrighty, we'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.